Well, hey guys, welcome to Hilltop Machine Works. I am Tom. Come on in. Hey guys, it's Tom here. The weather is nice, sun is out, spring is here. And I've had a few viewers request to do a shop tour. I've had it on the list of things to do, so I figured it's a good time to take a break. I'm right in the middle of making that production run of C-clamps, and my hands are kind of tired right now, so figured what the heck, we'll take a break and I'll give you guys a shop tour. I'm going to go handheld, so it may be a little bit shaky, but that's the easiest way to do it. So let me get stuff turned around. Sun is kind of shining, hopefully it won't wash it out here, but what you're looking at is a 34 by 25 steel building, 850 square feet. It's the largest zoning in my area to allow me to build it. So it's one of those kits where you buy it and you put it together. You can see the arch rib sections. It came on 2 pallets, brought it home, and persuaded my friends with beer and pizza for several weekends, and we put it together. So let me bring you inside, show you what I got. Well, I guess we'll go counterclockwise here since I'm coming in the door. For you guys that are curious, the ceiling is spray foam. It's isonine. It works real well. I paid for about 3 to 4 inches, and it is that in some places and thicker in others. But in the winter time, I mean, this place is nice and warm. Once you get the heater going, it keeps the temp. In the summertime, it's probably good 12 to 15 degrees cooler, so awesome stuff. So I guess as you come in, your typical blast cabinet. It's the Harbor Freight model. It's the largest one they have. I did the upgrades on it. That's on YouTube that everybody talks about. Upgraded the light, added a foot pedal, upgraded the gun inside. Also picked up one of those, if you can see it back there, one of those cyclones to save the media as you run the vacuum to vacuum it out. Over here, your typical bench grinders on the stand. Above it, I just have a makeshift shelf of all my welding stuff, welding rods, wire, more TIG rods up top. So, and then a dedicated grinder just for grinding tungsten. Over here is your basic metal cabinet, and it's just full of fluids. If I can maneuver around here, shop dog's in the way. 2 long benches, 2 foot by 8 feet, with a 16 gauge metal top on them. Up top, I'm running a selection of bolts, nuts, and washers. It runs from 1/4 inch all the way down to 3/4, and I have them spaced out. For instance, these are 1 inch 1 to 2s. These are 2 inch 2 to 3s. These are 3 and larger. And then nuts and washers. One bin dedicated only to fine stuff, and then it continues on down that way. Red bins are bearings, shims, what's left when I do rear end jobs. I used to set up gears and stuff and axles when I was doing 4-wheel drive stuff. Let's see here, metrology stuff, surface plate, insert template from Outside Screwball. I appreciate that, Chuck. Anyways, 12-inch height gauge hidden under there. Good set of inspection mics, Metrology 0 to 6, 6 to 12 mics there. I got some gauge blocks, some angle blocks and whatnot. Move over here. My collets, all 5C, hex, round, metric, square. And then your typical stuff, knickknacks, smaller hardware, fasteners, whatnot. Down below, automotive stuff, hose clamps, U-bolts, lamps, all that good stuff. Down under here is all electrical stuff, wiring, connectors, zip ties, that kind of good stuff. Down here is my rear end equipment. Got pullers, dummy bearings. There's a nice case spreader right there. And then down below in the red bins is where I have square stock. So down here, running Delrin. Aluminum 6061, 7075. There you go. Down there's brass, copper, and under that one is steel. Moving around, my gauge pen set and a nice gauge pen cabinet. Got that from Shaw's. I think I did a mail call on it, but if you guys didn't catch the mail call, goes from 0.61 up to 1 inch. Extremely handy. Let's see, just your typical toolboxes and hand tools. Let's see here, we'll move over. And there's my poor neglected Boyer Schultz 612 Deluxe surface grinder. It is the deluxe model with the factory dust collecting cabinet. I don't know if the light's going to pick it up or not. So anyways, the story on this is just kind of looking on Craigslist and eBay, you know, trying to get equipment at a good deal. Especially I was just kind of planning ahead, so once I move into my new larger shop, then I'd have a nice well-equipped shop. Saw this on eBay. It had been hanging out probably about 6 months. It was a decent price, but they also had you know, make an offer. So I made a reasonable offer and they accepted it. So it was about a 2-hour drive each way. Drove down and picked it up. So here she is. I hadn't had a chance to clean her up and get her running yet. It's on the list of things to do. It will probably be, you know, full tear down, check everything out, and then put it back together, kind of like what Brad Jacobs did, basement shop guy. He's got the same exact model, I believe. And next to it, just 3-ton arbor press. Grabbed that from Inco when they had the 25% off and free shipping. And then if you saw the video, made the nice cool ornate stand. And over here in the way right now is an axle for a Cherokee waiting on, that I mentioned in one of the mail calls. A customer wants me to do an axle swap, and I'm trying to confirm that this is the right axle for it, because there were 2 options for that year and he hadn't gotten back with me. I want to make sure before I tear into this and freshen this up that it's the right one. And continue moving on. Over here in the corner is your typical drill press, and then all my nice Hoyt cabinets. Over there I've got see, reamers, got big drill bits, 33, 64, so all the way up to 1 inch. Over here got your typical fraction and wire gauge. Over here taps. And then I got 2 sets of cabinets for end mills. Down below I've got my Bruce Witham drawer. These are all left-handed stuff and easy outs and whatnot. A little bit of metric stuff. And then this is the A-bomb drawer where I got the real big extra large end mills. Down below is a 8-inch rotary table, tailstock for it. Let's see, hidden in the back. So my American Rotary 5-horse, 3-phase converter. That wooden box there has got 18-inch Metrology vernier height gauge. And let's see, we'll back up and get a shot of my mill. This is an Excello mill. It is Canadian's version of the Bridgeport, except it's a little bigger, a little beefier. Your typical Bridgeport weighs about 2,000 pounds. This one weighs 3,000 pounds, and so like I said, everything on it's just a tad bit bigger. As you can see, the head's a little bit bigger, the quill diameter is a little bit bigger. Real nice mill. The only problem is for like when I added the power feed on the Z-axis and stuff like that, everything in those kind of kits is for a Bridgeport or Bridgeport style, so nothing fits this mill. Everything I had to adapt to get it on. But anyway, she rocks and rolls. Did add a quill readout. Got a little light on her. Help to see. Works well. And you know, your typical easy, quick grab collets and end mill holders there. Moving over to 6x48 belt sander. And it's also got the 12-inch disc on the side. And over here is my good do-all. She is a 1943 ML16. The table is 24 inches. It came that color. I think originally it's supposed to be like a greenish. Let's see, let me pop that cabinet open, I'll show you. So if the camera picks it up, so I think that looks like the original color there. Anyways, it is 3-phase. It had a static converter on it from the previous owner when I got it, so I just run a static converter on this. One of the few good things at Harbor Freight is their presses. That's their standard 20-ton press. And then moving over here, 36-inch metal brake. There's a bender behind it for pipe. I had a tubing bender when I was doing a bunch of roll cage work, but I have since sold that since I'm not bending tube up anymore for Jeeps and Broncos and whatnot. And in front of you here, I got Parker Metalworks. That's their plasma that I paid them to turbo it, so it's not a 40 amp, it's actually a 50 amp. And you can just get the consumables on eBay real cheap. Working great. I've had it about 12 years. About 3 years ago, I picked up the Everlast Power TIG 185. No complaints. It rocks and rolls. And then the old standard tried and true Millermatic 210 transformer base. As you can see, how it's a biggie. But that's about 15 years old. And hidden back there, your typical torch setup, oxyacetylene. Back behind there, some round stock, and then up top I've got some round and flat. As you can see, storage space is a premium in my shop. Definitely outgrown it, so any place I can find a hole, I stick it. There's that nice piece of 8620 I scored from the scrap yard for next to nothing. And over here, machinist boxes with you know, measuring equipment, your standard stuff, calipers and mics and all that knick-knack paddywhacks. Back up here and get you. There's the Inco lathe. It's 13 by 40. I bought it new in 2004. It's a pretty tight lathe, no complaints. Did add a digital readout on it. Also added a tack gauge, and of course then the tailstock readout. I did a little video on that. And your typical tool holders, some Morse taper number 3 drill bits. I have 2 of these Harbor Freight roll cabinets, one dedicated for the mill and one dedicated for the lathe. This one's for the lathe. I got the big chuck on right now, but as you can see, I just keep everything that's lathe related. Those are centers, carbide, boring bars, more holders, and let's see, some bigger drill bits, some mandrels, some dogs, and then behind here, and then in this corner, it's just a bathroom. I got storage up above, and then a little bit of storage. Let me get you over here, over there in that metal bin. And if you walk around, there's I guess the pride and joy. That is a Monarch Model K. Is 16 by 54. Built in 1964. And powered by another American rotary phase converter. That's a 10 horse there. The backsplash is obviously not factory. I made that, and then also had a place to hold my tools and my drills. And let me go get you the original manual and build sheet. You guys are gonna like this. Alright, so when I picked the lathe up, believe it or not, it came with the original manual. So check this out. Hopefully it'll pick it up real good. And look at that, there's the original build sheet, or at least a copy of it. It was ordered December 10th, 1963. So they had a build date of actually 1/10/1964. It was shipped to S.E. Gray Incorporated on Mount Elliott Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. Unfortunately, it originally came with a taper attachment and a dial travel indicator and also a steady rest. But somebody has robbed those over the years, so when I got it, it was missing all those 3 items, unfortunately. But came with a 12-inch 3-jaw universal chuck. So anyways, thought that was pretty cool because you don't often get the manual when you buy a piece of used equipment. So one nice thing about this machine, came a nice big beefy DeLorean quick change tool post holder. I've since been searching eBay and picked up a couple extra ones, so that was nice. So I think you know, this plus about 4 of them was about the cost of this lathe. I mean, wow. Anyways, that's that 15-inch 4-jaw I scored, and there's a 12-inch down there that I took off. That's the 3-jaw that I put on. And then I've got the faceplate, and also have a smaller 10-inch 4-jaw. If I don't feel like fighting the big chuck, I can just put that one on. Makes life a whole lot easier. And I guess we'll work our way back to the middle and we'll be about done. That's my welding table there. It's got a 1/2-inch thick top. That's about all I could afford. That was $416 just for the top. I would have liked an inch top, but you know, it was going to be about $800-900 just for that. So I had to settle for only a 1/2-inch thick. Put it on wheels so it rolls. Also drilled some holes in it if the camera picks it up. And down below, I just keep a lot of C-clamps, a lot of quick clamps, magnets, and also there's my metal cutting saw. And then really back there in the back, you can see that's where I've got all my grinders hanging. And let's see, just an easy toolbox, basic stuff related to it. And there's the chest that goes with my, let me move it over, with my mill, dedicated for mill work, your typical blocks. And some angles, 5C stuff. Tramming it in, a couple boring heads. My Randy Richards dovetail cutter. Thanks, Randy. And below, let's see, just slitting saws, you know, and whatnot. And down below, a couple pallets I did videos on. Indexable mini pallet. And then that's the big pallet that I can use either on the mill table or on the rotary table, so I'll have more real estate. Well, I hope you enjoyed that shop tour. I tried to run through it. Hope that wasn't too fast, but I didn't want to, you know, drag it out. So anyways, leave some comments. If I went over something too fast, I'll be glad to tell you about it or refilm it if I need to. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and share with all your friends. Let them know about me and my channel. Spread the word, and we'll see you later.